and I decided to combine because I had the hottest history teacher and I didn't want to drop the course. So I wanted to see my sexy history teacher. I included the history so I can combine and I was trying to be the serious student. I mean, I had A in economics, so why not do econs? Boom, I would have died. And I met the category straight away. I managed to secure that gig only to get on the set, and it was so cordial. Oh, I was starstruck, but I managed to put my composure together. And yeah, I loved the set, although I almost drowned. Okay, so with just that one gig that I went to do it for this gentleman, when he got another audition somewhere, he called me to show up for the audition. And that audition was how I secured the. Honestly, the aim wasn't to be famous. The aim was actually just enjoying what I was doing. A week after exam, not even graduation, I got an offer from Qatar Airways to be a flight attendant. I went for Miss Malaika because my dad said, "Oh, you can do it, so go." My dad has always been my number one fan.
My name is Yaw Agyei, and welcome to Life After School. Does school really determine your future, or that is what we've been told? For years, we've measured success by grades and degrees. But what if life has other plans? In a world where dropouts build empires and top students still struggle, it's time we ask real questions. Welcome to Life After School, the podcast where we explore the truth about education, success, and everything in between. Whether you're a straight A student, a university dropout, or just trying to figure things out, this is the space for you. Let's challenge the system, hear real stories, and also discover what really shapes our future beyond the classroom. Life after school. School ends, but the journey doesn't. Hi, and welcome to Life After School. My name is Yaw Agyei. My guest today is Ama Ampofo. She has worn many hats, done a lot of things, and we are privy today to have her in my studios. Welcome to Life After School, Ama Ampofo.
Hi, Yaw Agyei. Thank you for.
You're welcome. And how are you doing, Ama?
I'm good, yeah. How are you?
I am very well. So, for the purposes of today, this is an education and career platform. So, we would look to go into your academic and professional journey. So, for starters, for those who don't know who Ama Ampofo is, if you could do a brief introduction for us.
Right. So, my name is Ama Ampofo. Obviously, I'm from Ghana. And, intro. Well, I think a lot of you know me from your screens, from a few commercials and movies, but for now, let's just keep it basic and wait for the questions to flow in. But I'm just Ama Ampofo. That's it.
Okay, well, welcome, Ama Ampofo. So, I want us to start from your educational journey. Where did it all start for you?
Education. Okay, so let's start off with St. Paul's for junior secondary school. Then from St. Paul's Lutheran to Archbishop Potter Girls, and then to Legon.
So when you say St. Paul's, is this the one which is off the Ring Road?
Yeah, Kanda. St. Paul's Lutheran.
Okay. And so let's speak about St. Paul's. When you go past St. Paul's, people have the idea that this school is for rich people. Is that the case?
Well, let me just say it falls within the DB vibes. So it's that's what they say. I'm not sure if I'm a rich kid, but that's what they say. So I guess I just had a taste of it. And to be honest, it's normal. It's really normal.
Okay. So St. Paul's,
Yeah.
Kanda,
Yeah.
Archbishop Potter Girls,
Yeah.
which is many kilometers away from St. Paul's. Why the choice of Archbishop Potter Girls, if I may ask?
To be honest, when I was picking schools, I think I was doing my best to be as far away from home as possible because my mom can be clingy. So I decided to ask for a few options, and it came in, either Gehe, St. Paul's, or Ebri Girls. And since I realized that Archbishop is the farthest amongst all of them, we go for Archbishop Potter Girls then. And I don't regret it.
So let's speak about Archbishop Potter Girls. What was your experience like at Archbishop
Lord.
Potter Girls?
I mean, it's fun. To be honest, I think that's where the shaping began from because they really do train you to become a lady by the time you're done. You really get this trained, proper grooming training that teaches you how to sit, how to talk in public, how to keep yourself. And I think that really shaped me a lot as a woman, to be honest.
So if you were to be given the chance to take your daughter to Archbishop Potter Girls, would you do it again?
I would do it without thinking.
Oh wow. Okay. So fast forward from Archbishop Potter Girls, where was your next destination?
From Archbishop was Legon straight away.
Mm. And
Yeah.
so what programs did you take in Legon?
So Legon was history, archaeology, and theater arts. And there's a funny story about that. So usually either you combine or you go one direction. And I decided to combine because I had the hottest history teacher and I didn't want to drop the course.
Oh.
So I stuck with history and theater arts because I loved arts anyway. I just loved it whenever we went there to just do our own thing. But usually I was behind the camera. So my part was sound and for continuity, sound and lighting. That's what I was doing. I was never in front of the cameras when we were in school. But yeah, just so I wanted to see my sexy history teacher, I included the history so I can combine and yeah, that
Okay.
was it. Mm.
So with the choices of history, archaeology, and theater arts, there are students who say, this is the course they gave me. Was that the same for you?
This was the course they gave me, but I came to love it. The only one I dropped along the way was archaeology because I wasn't vibing with it properly. So I just dropped that one and I stuck with the history and theater arts. But those are the courses I was given.
So
Yeah.
do you remember the programs that you chose when you were coming from Archbishop Potter Girls?
Yeah, and to some extent, I'm glad I didn't get it because I was trying to be the serious student. I mean, I had A in economics, so why not do econs? Boom, I would have died because I saw my econs. No way. It was good I didn't get it because, hey, nah.
So
No.
with this being an academic platform,
Yeah.
the tendency for students coming out of high school to choose programs at the university or at the tertiary level without proper guidance is something which is a bane on our academics right now. With the benefit of hindsight, would you say having professional advice when it comes to the choice of programs at the tertiary level would be very helpful to our student population today?
I mean, it's very necessary because our educational system is tailored in a very funny way that you study one thing, go ahead, and it's totally falls off the grade. So why not find a way to educate them, let them know the long term of whatever subject or course they're choosing to do now, so they will not be hit by any surprises, as they proceed. I think it's very good if we give them some kind of they may or may not fully understand the impact of whatever route they want to go. So maybe we could have some educational, courses or trainings to give them a fair idea to guide them into what they would really like to pick, rather than get there and be hit by some surprise like I was when I saw my other colleagues.
Okay. So I know at the University of Ghana, right, you were involved in some extracurricular activities.
Yeah.
So, with that, can you take us into your extracurricular activities that you were involved in school?
I think that was mainly to branch off to the art section where we were sometimes, invited to do commercials for the school. I do remember, I think my face is still on the school website for theater arts, and it was quite entertaining. It also helped me get a few gigs here and there when it came to modeling because someone would tell you like, oh, I saw your face on there. Yeah, here we go. And little by little, with that little step, with my face being on a company website for free, I managed to secure a few other jobs. And yeah, that's how it started from. It really helped me build.
So I want us to speak about modeling while in university. There are a lot of students who want to be famous. That is the motivation of some people in school. Some
Yeah.
enjoy it. Some people enjoy being in the background. But with your experience with modeling at the University of Ghana,
Right.
um, with your face being on the university website and you getting gigs, how did your gigs actually happen for you?
Well, the person met me and made me understand, like, oh, are you that one? Yeah, it's me. Oh, okay. Oh, I like the photo. I'll keep you in mind. If I get something, I'll let you know. I
Hmm.
don't remember the person's name, but I remember the person was at NAFTI. So through that, like, oh, I have a gig going on. Would you like to join? Yeah, I would like to join. Okay, so with just that one gig that I went to do it for this gentleman, when he got another audition somewhere, he called me to show up for the audition. And that audition was how I secured the Fidelity Big Fat Zero. And from Fidelity Big Fat Zero, it was just a Rolling Stone. On that set, I met the next person that gave me my first movie contract. So you see, little by little, this is how I built. And honestly, the aim wasn't to be famous. The aim was actually just enjoying what I was doing.
Mm,
And with that came some financial benefits. And if you're working and you're having fun, why not?
mm. So I want us to speak about Sarkodie. Um, I know you were in the Sarkodie and I believe it's Little Shaker. The live
Yeah,
video. Yes.
yeah.
How did you get that gig?
It was also from campus. There was one lady, may she rest in peace, Alice.
Mm.
So
No,
Alice
honest.
was also in my department, the arts, and she made me understand, like, oh, I just joined this production company and they're looking for a model for a shoot, but she didn't even let me know who the artist was. But if you would like to show up for the audition, why not? So I showed up for the audition, and again, the panel loved me. I met the criteria: light skin, dark skin. I think there's a particular image we're trying to portray because around that
Mm,
time, there was this controversy about only light skin women being used for commercial. And I met
mm,
the category straight away. I managed to secure that gig only to get on the set, and it was Sarkodie. I was starstruck, but I managed to put my composure together. And yeah, I love the set, although I almost drowned, but I love the set. And
wow.
again, I still managed to secure some bag. Yeah.
Wow. How did the drowning happen? The almost drowning.
So I had just started taking my swimming lessons,
Mm-hmm.
and my lessons were in a shallow pool. So when we got to the house, it was, should I disclose whose house it was or no? No. Yeah, it was Adebayo's house. So when we got there, the pool was quite deep, but me being me, I thought I could still do it, but I didn't realize how deep it was. But I still made them know I am still new with swimming. So if I can't keep stroking, I'll just lift my hand up and then you come and get me. And it was quite late too, so they couldn't really see inside the pool. And yeah, it's quite a lengthy one too. So I
Mm-hmm.
swam midway. I realized I was tired, but it was deep, so my hand couldn't really come out.
Mm,
So after a few tries, they noticed my finger was out. I felt someone
mm.
just sweep me out of the water. And yeah, are you okay? Are you okay from a distance? Finally, yeah, I came back to life. And yeah, with less embarrassment, we ended the shoot. Yeah.
Well, for us as viewers, we did enjoy the video uh, from our screens. So I want us to speak to especially female students who look to go into modeling. There is a lot of exploitation, people
A
say,
lot. A lot.
um, with younger girls who are looking to go into modeling, especially students. Uh, with you going down that pathway, what
Mm.
advice would you give to a girl of between maybe 17 years to about 20, 24-ish, who is trying to make it in an industry like that, who is a student or even not a student?
Don't be desperate. Don't be desperate. It's not every gig you have to say yes to. You do not have to say yes. You don't owe them anything. If you say no, nobody can force you. And always make sure the details are in fine prints. You know what you're getting yourself into. Don't just say yes because you want to be famous and then get there and, oh, but I thought, well, it's too late. You've already signed. So if you're not certain with the details on the contractual terms, give it to someone who can read and, detail, give you the detail fine prints. This is what you're getting yourself into rather than be desperate just for being popular sake. You say yes to anything and then get there, and now you're forced to do things you do not want to do. And ask questions. Like, if you're not ready to be naked, if you're not ready to wear a bikini, if you're not, ready to do certain things, ask questions. And if they say so, don't assume they're just saying it just to please you. If they're saying you're going to get naked, you're going to get naked. Okay, no, I can't do it. If you're going to wear a bikini, okay, are you comfortable with it? Yes, but don't get there and come and do. I'm trying to cover up. What is that? That's not the details of the job. And be professional. That way you don't get exploited. Yeah, there might be some gray areas here and there, but for the very depth of details, please don't be desperate.
So aside sexual exploitation, there is also
Yeah.
the agent-client relationship where sometimes students who double as models say that agents are fleecing them, as in agents are taking some of their money, a significant amount. So if you were to advise younger people who were going into modeling gigs in terms of their money, what would you say to them?
So on this one, my advice would be a bit slightly shady because my dad was my manager until he got sick. And when we got me my new manager, there was a meeting between him and my dad was a cop. So, there's some kind of already protection on that level. So I will not be able to give a very definite advice on this one, but with common sense's sake, yeah, the agents tend to cheat some of the girls, according to some experiences from my friends. And as for that one, you cannot ask God to step in because how are you even going to know? You wouldn't know until the gig is done. And maybe out of conversation with, some of the people on the set, you would hear that you've been exploited. Until then, you wouldn't even know because you were happy with that 2,000, 5,000 that you were getting for those 2 hours of the shoot or 3 hours you had to do. So that one, it's a very hard, rock and a hard place kind of conversation because, without that agent too, you wouldn't have been able to get the job. And this is what they use as an excuse to exploit these ladies. It's very sad. It's honestly very sad.
Well, I hope whoever is at home watching us, who is looking to double as a student or who is looking to be a model, is listening to this conversation. So, Ama, I want us to move away from the University of Ghana and going into the real world of work. After the University of Ghana, what did you get yourself into?
So a week after a week after exam, not even graduation, I got an offer from Qatar Airways to be a flight attendant. Surprisingly, I had no idea where I was going. I mean, I knew the Middle East, but not specifics where, this is here and there. And I got an offer from them, which I almost turned down because I had a paper to go. So the lady called me, told me like, oh, we have an offer for you, la, 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 la. It's not a scam. She said, no, no, no. And I told her, well, I have an exam to write. So if you cannot reschedule my trip, then I'm not going. She just tells me, okay, give me an hour. I'll call you back. And then she calls me back and she tells me, how about a week from your last paper? I said, okay. And he said, okay, give me an email address. I said, I don't have one because I didn't have a personal smartphone that smart then. I didn't really have these details of headline. So I gave them my dad's. About 3 days later, they sent my ticket and everything I needed to travel to my dad, and it was a go.
Wait, so in terms of getting the job as a cabin crew person at Qatar Airways, you didn't apply to the job?
This is the funniest part. So my friends applied for the job. And if I remember correctly, another friend asked me like, oh, you want to apply? I wasn't really, because I didn't have any clue. I was that naive. So I think he did it. His name was Max. So I think he did everything. And then we just sat there like playfully did it. But the day of this recruitment, my friends needed me to drop them as well.
Okay.
So 4 of them were in one car, and then the other group were in my car, and I was with my friend. Her name was Ella. Like, let's go and drop them. So we just went there. Honestly, we weren't properly dressed like 4. Only to get there, and the lady told us we cannot sit outside, so we should go inside. But she's just going to give us a number. It's like, okay. So me and Ella, we just took the numbers, and we just went in. We were the ones who were picked that day. Even the people we went to drop, none of them were picked out of, I think, 3,000 people. We're part of the 2 that were picked. And then she made us understand, you've been shortlisted. On your next interview in 3 days, dress properly and come. And that's when I actually dressed up properly to show up for the interview. And I was recruited.
So I want us to speak about the open day I don't
Right.
know if it's confidential, but um, when you entered the room where the panel was, what was that like for you? And what kind of questions did they ask you, if you remember? I know it's long ago, but if you remember.
I remember. I really remember because it was a very funny situation. Well, first off, I think when you are young and you're just having fun, you really don't do things with so much caution that you're so eager that if you don't get it, you're going to panic.
Mhm.
And that was it for me. Like, I'm 21. Do I care whether they take me? I don't even know where Qatar is. So, only to get there, and there were three ladies sitting there. And I remember one's name very well. I think it was Ragasa. And then she said, "Oh, you're so cute." I said, "Thank you." And I think that was the very first one. She's like, "Where are you from?" "Yeah, I'm from Ghana. What's your name? How old are you?" "Okay, take this paper. See you next 3 days." Okay. Then the next 3 days, my sister has actually applied, so we went together. We were dressed in the same dress suit, and she's like, "Are you twins?" We're like, "No, we're sisters. It's a 3-step process."
Okay.
And she's like, "Oh, okay." So she gave me a rubber band, and she asked me, "What would you do with this if you were in an aircraft or anywhere and there's an emergency?" So my hair was down. So I just told her I would just tie my hair up so I can get clear sight so I can help people. They laughed. She's like, "That's what you do with a rubber band in the time of an emergency." I said, "Yeah." And she just told me, "Okay, thank you." And then when we stepped outside, there were like 2,000 people. She mentioned certain names. And she told us, "Step on this side." And she told the other group left, "Step on that side." And she's like, "Group A, you're moving to the next step. Group B, thank you for coming. Bye bye." And then Group A, "See you in another, I think, 2 days or so." So we went. But sadly, I went alone. My sister had work. So
Mm.
unfortunately, she didn't show up for the final one. And as soon as I walked in, she's like, "Oh, welcome back. Where's your twin?" And I was so sad. I said she couldn't make it. She's like, "Oh, is that why you're sad?" I said, "Yeah." She's like, "You know what? Just sit down and put yourself together." So I made it to the next step. Final step, she gave us a group work and she's like, "We need one person to volunteer to write the answers down." And I just raised my hand. She said, "Okay." And that was it. I didn't even speak for the rest of the interview. I just wrote down the answers. And she told me I think for vouching to do it for the group, I've qualified for the final stage. That was it.
Okay. So it looks like there's no formula to this interview.
No,
They
there
have
isn't.
they have specifics they are looking for. But I am going to revert back to the University of Ghana. With your confidence in going into an interview like that and speak it to them, I know you also participated in a beauty pageant. Would you say that that confidence came from the grooming of the beauty pageant? We are going to speak about the beauty pageant as well.
Yeah, I think that would be it. To have the courage to even stand in front of even just 10 people on the stage is not easy at all. And if I've been able to stand in front of, I don't know, a whole panel with almost over 100 people or 50 people in an auditorium, 3 people won't give you a panic button. It will give you some kind of a bit of a scare from the onset, but after 2 or 3 back and forth conversation, it kind of really eases you down. So I would say that was a step for me to just nail an interview with just 3 people in front of me.
Mm. So beauty pageants. So I am going back to the University of Ghana, which I said we were moving from. Um, which beauty pageant did you
So I did
participate in?
Miss Legon and Miss Malaika.
Okay, Miss Legon and Miss Malaika. Back then, I know Miss Malaika was huge. Um, were you part of those people who went to Miss Malaika because your friends said, "Oh, you are beautiful, so you can win"? What was the Miss Malaika journey for you?
I went for Miss Malaika because my dad said, "Oh, you can do it, so go." My dad has always been my #1 fan. May he rest in peace. And we were watching, I think, the year before, if I'm not mistaken. I think it would be Ama. It was Ama and Bella. And my dad was like, "But I'm sure you can do this. I mean, you did Miss Playback Show. You did that. You can do this." So he's like, "Okay, how about we give it a shot? I will drop you for your audition." I said, "Okay." So the following year, my dad dressed me up. My sister did the whole thing. I showed up for the audition that time. And from morning till like very late. And I made it. My dad was super excited. And he was like, my coach throughout, come and walk, let me see, come and do that. Oh,
So,
that, yeah.
may he rest in peace. So,
Amen.
with
Amen.
beauty pageants in Ghana,
Yeah.
largely from the likes of Giselle, who had just come out of high school. I believe Amanete had just come out of high school as well. Hamamat, maybe 2006, also had just come out of high school, right? Would you say beauty pageants are beneficial to our society?
Yeah, I mean, yes, it's very beneficial, but it would have its pros and cons in the sense that it really grooms you. It builds you in a way you would not notice or even take note, but it really does. It gives you this sort of boldness to be able to show up without even you realizing you're building it. And it kind of it creates you, honestly. We find ways and means, well, whoever chooses to exploit would exploit no matter what. And that is the scary part of beauty pageants. But for any young girl, I think you should be given an opportunity to stand in front of that stage, stand with that panel, let them teach you and groom you how to grow into this, because if you really have a closer look at all these ladies out there that have gone through this beauty pageant, nobody will tell you, but the moment you see them, oh, were you? And there'll be a yes in there. Oh, I was part of. I was final.
Mm-hmm.
It really shapes you in a way that you don't even take notice of it yourself, but you're gone.
So, Miss Malaika, there is a name everyone mentions. Like everyone who has been to Miss Malaika, they had a chaperone, maybe from specific years in between.
Okay.
Everyone mentions Apefa
Apefa.
Fojo.
I knew
Yeah.
it.
Me, I'm just a fan. I sit behind, and I know a lot of people who have gone to Miss Malaika. Why does everyone speak so highly of Apefa and Fojo?
Apefa's job is not easy, but in between all of that stress, she finds a way to listen to you, to see you, to speak to you. She will add your stress to her stress and still make you comfortable because in as much as the show is her baby, we are still her babies. She gives you this mother figure that she won't lecture you, but she will find a way to just make you feel so comfortable. Even if you're upset and you want to leave, you will stay for Apefa. She's amazing. Honestly, as for Apefa, of course, there are days where she'll blow up and she'll yell at you, but so because your mother yelled at you, that's the end of the world. No, you still come when Apefa calls you. You sure?
I see. So, to Apefa, you don't know me, but for us, the fans of Miss Malaika, including Paul Oseifosu, including Famebags, including a lot of people who have watched Miss Malaika, we've heard your name and we've heard of the good work you've done. And I believe now you are with Media General. So, shout outs to you, Apefa and Fojo. Let's go back to...
We love her.
So let's go back to working as a cabin crew member. You got to Qatar, new environment. What was settling in like for you? And also your first flight. What was that experience like?
So now that's the thing. When I settled, see, this is why I said beauty pageants are important because that was not my first flight. Miss Malaika at 10 took us to Namibia and South Africa. Hence, I had an aircraft experience prior to me moving here. So, I mean, in as much as it was very faint in my brain, it wasn't my first. But when I got here, the cultural shock, the heat that slapped my face when I exited the airport almost made me go back home. But when I saw that check on that paper, when I saw the zeros, I'm like, hell no. No way I'm going back home. So I'm not saying I love money. I mean, who doesn't? But and of course, the perks of the job, the uniform I'll be wearing, the grooming, the makeup. If I get to think about traveling to, I don't know, 15 countries, 10 countries every month for free, why not? These were the perks that kept me to stay, but the heat and the cultural shock almost made me give up. I will not lie. It was exhausting.
So let's speak about the realities on the ground then as a
Yeah.
cabin crew member. We see the glam. We see the airports. We see you guys skipping lines. We see you guys having on the beautiful makeup. But in reality, what are the downsides to the job?
Right. So in reality, the downside to the job will be you don't get to have proper sleep because I mean, you take off from Qatar at 10 a.m. in the morning, you reach Australia by 10 a.m. again in the morning, and your body does not know if you should sleep or not. If you sleep, what happens when night falls? You're going to be awake. If you don't sleep, and night falls, you don't get enough sleep, and then in a couple of hours, you're flying back to another time zone. It really messes up your body clock, which can have a toll on your health. The second thing is, I think because of the way we dress up, and because of the fact that we know that a lot of people uses the washrooms, we refuse to use it, or we want it in a particular state before you use it. Hence, a lot of them tend to have kidney stones because you
Oh,
don't pee. You don't want to have the nasty, yes. And of course, mid-fly, when the place is so messy, you're supposed to wear gloves and go and tidy the place up. That is not so perky with our looks. We don't want to do it. And someone has passed out. You're supposed to do a CPR. I mean, we love to save lives, but these are not the so fine part of the job that we don't want to add to the glam, but the reality we have to face every day.
I spoke to one person who is always in there, right? And she tells me your relationships take a toll. What has been your experience when it comes to even family time aside the love side of your life?
Well, yeah, you're not stable, so you need someone who understands the nature of your job to be willing to stick with you because, I mean, your boyfriend or your husband needs you and you are in Greece. Someone is dead. He needs your attention.
Mm.
You are in Toronto. How is he going to deal with that? So you need someone who actually understands the nature of your job
Mm-hmm.
to be ready to stick around. Hence, I got married to a pilot. We already understand the nature of our jobs. So I barely see my husband, I don't know how many times in a month, but I'm okay with it because I understand what he's supposed to do. And of course, be supportive because the job itself is stressful. You're already 35,000 feet in the sky. Your brains already have its own tool, but you're supposed to function as a normal human being. How many times in a month doing that? So, I mean, what can you do?
What coincidence that you got married to a pilot?
Weird,
I
huh?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to pry into your private life. So let's leave that. And you mentioned the money, right? Would you say working as a cabin crew member is rewarding in terms of finances?
Very much, I would say. I mean, for a 21-year-old, I think I had my birthday. Actually, I was the first to have my birthday in my class. I got here
Mm.
14th June, and my birthday is 22nd. So exactly a week, I turned 22. I mean, if let's say rough figure, as a 22-year-old, you're earning about $3,000-4,000 a month. Why not? What would you do? You can live, but at the same time, don't let it get into your head where you don't save to do nothing for yourself. Or by the time you blink, it's 10 years and you're gone. So yeah, it's quite rewarding. And besides the rewards, you learn so many cultural over time. It's very rewarding.
Mm. So I want us to speak to aspiring cabin crew members. There are a lot of people in Ghana, young people in Ghana, who want to become cabin crew members. Would you say it is necessary to go to school to study as a cabin crew member? And aside the schooling, what singular advice would you give to them to be able to get their big break in becoming cabin crew members?
Advice. Okay, so I never studied to become a cabin crew. You don't need to study to become a cabin crew because when you're recruited, you will be trained for, I think, a period of 3 months. So there's no need to study to become a cabin crew. Just have some kind of education that you can have communication. You're easy to go with. That should just be it. Be pretty. You see the cabin crew when you walk in. They have this. You see the
Mhm.
physique. just be presentable. And yeah, that should just do it. When they find you and they like you and they pick you, they will train you themselves to whatever standards they need. Because every company actually has a few different standards. And that's it. Don't study to become a cabin crew. Study for what you want to be. And if a cabin crew comes to meet you in the way and you want to switch, the company will do whatever they need you to do.
People say be skinny, beautiful, tall,
Yes.
to become a cabin crew member.
Yes.
Is that a myth or that is an actual truth?
It's very true because during the recruitment, they give you something, a height to touch. And if you don't meet it, automatically you're disqualified. Physically, they know what they're looking for. They're not telling you to go and lose weight. If you want to lose weight, that's you. But they know what they're looking for. They have uniform sizes and you need to fit into it. If you don't fit into it, that does not mean you're fast. Maybe it's the country standards. So, but you should fit into one of the uniforms. And of course, be beautiful. Would you be happy if a cabin crew approaches you and she's not beautiful? Would you be happy?
Well, I don't know the definition of beauty for a Qatari person. In Ghana, we have changed beauty, the standard of beauty, to be like this.
Right.
Yes. So I don't know what Qatari people call beauty, but I think beauty comes in all shapes and sizes. But definitely, if I were to be, if given the choice, I'd be approached by a very pretty cabin crew member. So
Of course.
I want us to move into what you do now. I know you still are into the performing arts in Ghana, and recently, just looking at your social media, I see that you are into content creation, going into different countries. How did this happen for you? For you to become a paid influencer?
Well, so for now, I'm a housewife. And since I was bored, I decided to just use my phone for a few things. I posted a few things here and then. I realized like, oh, people are reaching out to me. Do this for me. We'll pay you this. Do that for me. We'll pay you that. Okay, then why not? So it's not like I decided to do paid influencing. It just came along when I was just having fun as usual. Yeah.
So then, with social media today, it does have its positives and negatives. With your story of going to your own locations and posting and getting gigs by doing what you like to do or doing what you chose to do when you were bored, what advice would you give to aspiring content creators?
So this is the thing. I barely accept gigs because usually they will give you a time frame to post. If I'm traveling and I want to have fun, I don't want someone to decide for me when I should post because when I'm there to have fun, I just take what I need and then that's it. I drop the phone and have fun as well. It's not like constantly my phone is in my face. But if you accept a gig, unless you're ready to post within the time frame and the rules they've given you, you don't get to do it. They would even give you pressure. So this is what doesn't make me accept most of the gigs that come my way. The ones that I accept, then I'm ready to, work within that time frame. The advice, again, is desperation. If you're desperate, people will use you. Like, some of them are supposed to be paid, but they just say, oh, just post for us. We'll give you free stuff. Does the free pay for my tickets to reach that country? It doesn't. So if I'm not desperate and I'm just not bored and I just want to travel somewhere and have fun, a gig like that, I will not accept. I would accept money. Then I'll go and create your content for you. But if I'm just traveling on my own and I don't feel like, let's say, shopping, I reach out to a few clothing lines like, hey, let's say, like my trip to Bali. I'm going to Bali. I have this and this and this in mind. If you'd like to be a part of it, I'll like this and that from you, and I'll create content for you. Do we have a deal? Okay, we can give you 2 out of the 3. Do you have a deal? Yes, we have a deal. Okay, we're good. But if you're desperate, they will let you know when to post. Imagine being in the middle of my honeymoon with my husband and I have to pause the whole thing because I need to post. No, then we won't do it. So I'm never desperate. Because of that, I get to pick and choose what I want to do and when I want to do it.
Makes sense. So over 50 countries and counting.
63 countries and counting.
63 countries and counting. Where would you say is the best destination you've been to?
That's a very difficult question. Every time I'm asked, I get confused. But I think the best destination depends on the experience, not. So one of the places I really had fun was Atlanta. We had crazy time in Atlanta. I'll pick Atlanta as my best destination yet. If not, it's between Atlanta and Maldives. I'm yet to decide which one was the best.
I see.
Yeah.
So let's move away from the skies and locations.
Okay.
Locations still, but we are speaking about film in Ghana.
Right.
The English movie industry in Ghana, because there's Kumawood, which is predominantly Twi, and the English-speaking ones, recently has taken a nosedive, serious nosedive from what we knew it before. What do you think is the contributory factors? What are the contributory factors to this nosedive?
Right. This is a very difficult. This is a very difficult one. Well, it's always this competition between Ghana and Nigeria. And I think now mostly everybody's attention is kind of sort of driven to Netflix, which has more Nigerian content than Ghanaian content. This is what I have noticed. So probably without confirmation or facts from anywhere, because I see a lot of Ghanaian stars on the Nigerian screens, probably it's this urge to be a part of the Netflix trend now that is really getting everybody swept to the Nigerian screens, because honestly when they get there they make it to Netflix, and you and I know we only watch Netflix and maybe sometimes YouTube. I don't really know what it is, if it's also with the back. Yeah, before it used to be CDs and whatnot, but now it's all internet. Probably because we haven't upgraded fully, or we didn't catch up when the trend was changing to just social media now. Maybe that's what's really getting us stuck behind, because I really can't get my head around it, because our stuff are really good. I just came down recently to shoot one series, and if I look at the reviews online, it's crazy. It's good. It was for Aquaba Magic, Apofi. It's really funny and it has amazing reviews, but it's still, it's still climbing. It hasn't reached there yet. We're still climbing. It makes it very hard and sad that we put in so much effort, but it's still not getting that breakthrough that it used to be.
So I am going to put you on the spot, right? You don't need to. You don't need to answer. But would you say Nigerians are born actors, and Ghanaians are just not up to par when it comes to acting?
No, I think Nigerians have this, should I call it boldness of going, they just don't step. They dive. they just dive. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, okay. And in Ghanaians, we step to taste the water first, and then we dive, I think this is just what makes the difference between us. But it's not like they were born actors. No, I don't think they're better than us. It's just the way they are prepared, and then the dive just works, and then boom, they're skyrocketing. And then when we step, by the time we're ready to dive, a Nigerian has already dived. So okay, they took the lead. I think that's what's going on.
So personally, right, I think that the acting scene in Ghana and actors in Ghana, both male and female, are being sidetracked into looking elsewhere because they say that acting doesn't pay. Is that true?
Hello. This question. What do you mean it doesn't pay? I mean, it does pay, but you don't get as frequent the gigs. Hence, by the time the next one comes, you're already done spending, because Ghana is expensive. So I think that's what it is. It's not that it doesn't pay. It does. But the humiliation for you to get the kind of money you're expecting is what makes it lag. That's what it is.
So let's move away from acting now, and let's speak about the future for Ama Ampofo, what legacy are you looking to leave behind? I know you are young, practically young, but what legacy are you leaving behind for those people who are coming next? Say the people in university now.
A legacy. Well, as young as I am, I would leave. I would prefer to have that name that is left behind without any taint. I don't mean
Mhm.
to be wholly at that. I'm not your parent. I'm not here to advise you, but I wouldn't want to have a taint where when your name is mentioned, it comes with a okay.
Mm.
Okay, I'm Ampofo. Oh, that lady. I would prefer that. And whatever steps I'm doing from then till now has still not given me the yet. And I still appreciate it. I think I'm going to just keep going on that path. Do what I love most. Don't let any sense of desperation get me off track and just be concentrated. If you have a plan or a path on which you're moving, it'll be very hard for someone to come and distract you, for you to digress. And even if you digress, and you still find your way back, it's better to make that mistake and learn from it and move on than to make it to the top and then drop all the way back down.
Okay. So your last words. This is to a parent watching us. This is to a student watching us. Just as Ama's dad was her number one fan. Um, what would you say to parents whose children are looking to go into unconventional pathways?
Well, it's unconventional. I think my advice would be when you notice something in him or her and they choose to do it, do not impose what you think is right. Even if you have yours that you would like them to pursue, let it be part of whatever they are pursuing themselves. Either they combine both. Don't force them into your kids into a direction in which they don't want to be. If my parents hadn't supported me, I'm sure I'd have been some bored economist somewhere sitting there having regrets now, like not being able to pursue whatever I wanted to. Don't kill their dreams. Let them have their dreams, let them make their mistakes and learn from them and keep yours alongside whatever they're doing. Whichever works for them in the long run, great. You will be embarrassed if, let's say, your kid wants to do football and you force them to become a lawyer and eventually the football works out. She'll be an embarrassed parent. And in where we come from, we don't always call parents out on these things, but in this generation, you wouldn't dare hide it. You'll be called out. So whatever your kid wants to pursue, guide them. You may never know where it will lead them.
Thank you very much, Ama Ampofo, for your time on Life After School. So to the viewers at home, Ama Ampofo says that pursue your dreams and as parents as well, support your kids in their chosen fields. And until next time, my name is Yaw Agyei. Like, share, and subscribe.